We're here in the Mill Creek watershed. This is an area that last year in the middle of our pandemic burnt in the Wildfire. It's a place that has suffered. Homes were lost, people's lives were disrupted, but at the same time, if you look around, there's growth coming back. This is how we learn to live with fire. That is our work. My name is James Gore. I'm proud to be your Sonoma County Supervisor and represent Northern Sonoma County. Every day people look at me and say, are we ready? And I look back and say, being ready is an always evolving process. It's about updating our institutions to meet the demands of now. Hello everybody, James Gore, Sonoma County Supervisor. I'm here with Battalion Chief Marshall Turbeville from CAL FIRE, also our Chief of Northern Sonoma County Fire District. We're up here on Mill Creek.
Yep, Mill Creek Road, the Mill Creek community. We know a lot of these folks who worked up through the COPE program. Unfortunately, last year's fire came through, the Fire, almost a year ago the date. But you look right behind us, stuff's growing back and things are changing. Just a good conversation to have about resiliency and where do we go from here? What is the future of Mill Creek? What's the future of Sonoma County? And just like 2017 versus 2019, just these contrasts and these differences that happen over a couple years even.
The Tubbs Fire, the Nuns, the Pocket, that Sonoma Complex came in and it caught us on our heels. And it shook our community. It was almost like there was a fog of war for months afterwards, and especially in those conditions in the days following. You know, we all woke up and we knew what was going on. It was like the doorways of hell had opened up and 5,000 homes had burnt down. And then this wind event had stopped. And we looked around at each other and we're like, what on earth just happened? And immediately, folks looked back at us and said, what are you doing to make sure that that doesn't happen again? And so I really think through that 2017 Sonoma Complex Fires and that 2019 event when we had the Kincaid Fire hit as really this tale of two fires. Similar events, started in the wildlands, huge wind events. The kind of wind events that turn a fire into a natural disaster. But way different response systems. After being kicked in the face, you know, we rapidly adapted our systems. We started to take what was the black eye in the community, not using alert and warnings and communicating effectively, and we started to test those publicly, to show those programs and their flaws and learn with our community how it worked. We started to get into the hills and into the neighbor groups that weren't that strong at the time and help find ways by teaming up with our fire districts and others to mobilize people. Citizen organizations to prepare for emergencies, COPE groups, CERT teams. These folks lead the efforts on the ground. It can't just be institutions. But at the same time, the institution of local government has rapidly adapted. We now work better than we ever have with our first responders, our partners in crime, and the guys on the ground who need to get it done so that we set the policies in place and then we get out of the way.
We're very fortunate, thanks to you, to get funding for a fuel break project that's going to happen here. This is Daniel Ridge and also the Cloud Ridge fuel break projects. And this will be an example in an area where a fire came through, the Fire came through. We're going to take advantage of the vegetation being reset by the fire to now manage this vegetation to stop or slow a future fire. And so this could save the community of Mill Creek, maybe save Hillsburg, or if a fire is burning from Hillsburg towards the west part of the county, Cazadero is not that far away from here. We can start making those differences in the future. And then hopefully maybe also implement more prescribed burning, grazing, land management to become more and more resilient. So we reduced to like 2017 versus 2019. No deaths, less structures lost, and the vegetation recover more quickly. Thinning out the trees, breaking up the canopy so a fire can't go treetop to treetop, whether it's limbing trees up so a fire can't go from the surface of the earth up into the trees, all that stuff did happen here. Those are, you know, debatable how we go about doing that. And all that takes money, takes environmental review, takes landowner permission.
It takes a lot of work.
It takes a tremendous amount of work.
Is if you don't agree, but you're all good people and you desire to have a thriving ecosystem, you desire to have risk managed in your community, then you got to take the time to get in there. Because if you don't have buy-in, these are all private lands, right? Like Sonoma County is 95% privately owned. So we don't have the opportunity to work with the Forest Service or the Bureau of Land Management or just to go get onto people's property and take action. there has to be buy-in. People have to be focused on what, not just what they can do, but how do they work with us to get it done. It's all about personal accountability right now. Every person who does vegetation management on their property, whether they use our programs, the chipper programs, or work with a fire district, or do it on their own, every single person who puts a go bag together for their family and runs through scenarios, every single person who just puts it in their mind that they do have control, even in these chaotic times, of their actions, that makes us as a community more resilient. We're here in a place that was burnt heavy last year. But in spite of the black trees, you can see that there's growth coming back. There's homes being rebuilt up here. Better, stronger, smarter. There's a community that's come together to embrace the new reality in this place. This is emblematic of the entirety of Sonoma County. We don't have to fear these chaotic times. The movement towards resilience is about shared responsibility. Thank you for being there. Let's do this together. If you're looking for more information, check out the links in this newsletter. You can always go to socoemergency.org as well.